Hi everyone. Today we are going to look how to register a Linux GitLab runner to a GitLab project, and it's going to be a Docker executor of the GitLab runner, and we'll also see how to run a sample job on the GitLab runner using the Docker container. I'm going to create a plain empty GitLab project, which is a blank project. And once the project gets created, this is how you will be seeing the dashboard, and you have multiple options over here. And we have the settings, which is important for this video, as we are going to register a GitLab runner. So in the settings, CI/CD, we have an option for runners, and if we simply expand it, you can see the option of having the specific runners and the shared runners. So if we do not have any specific or the dedicated GitLab runners, we can always use the shared runners, which is by default provided by gitlab.com. But due to some security issues, or if your application is much more sensitive, and if you want to use your personal or company specific GitLab runners, then creating our own GitLab runner is always a better security option. So in order to do that, we will be requiring two things. One is the GitLab runner URL, which is the gitlab.com, and the registration token. These are the two important things that we need in order to register a specific GitLab runner. So now, since we have the project already created and we have the required details, now let's go and try to create and register a GitLab runner. So in order to do that, I have simply launched an t2.micro Ubuntu 20.04 version of AWS EC2 VM, and it's already running. Let us first set up Docker. Once you have the Docker installed, make sure it's running. As it is running, let's install GitLab runner. GitLab.com has a very good documentation of how to install GitLab runner on the respective or the specific Linux operating systems. All these links will be available on the description. So I'm going to use the Ubuntu specific. As you see, this command will typically set up or create a Ubuntu specific repository in order to install GitLab runner. And the next step is to simply use the apt-get command to install the runner. The GitLab runner is installed. Let's verify the service. As you can see, the service is running. So now we have the Docker and we also have the GitLab runner packages installed. Now let's register this GitLab runner to the GitLab project that we have created. It asks us to enter the GitLab instance URL, which will be gitlab.com. And now it's asked us to enter the registration token, which we can get from the project that we have created. And it asks us to provide some description for the runner, which will be the and now it asks us to enter the tags. I can simply provide AWS. Now the runner registration is succeeded, and now it asks us to use what kind of executor. So as you can see, it has we can register the GitLab runner using different executors, like SSH, Docker plus machine, Docker, Kubernetes, custom, VirtualBox, everything. So now we are going to use the Docker executor. We provide input as Docker, and it asks us to provide the default Docker image. So whenever any builds get triggered from gitlab.com, as I mentioned, it's going to use this image as its base image. So we are going to use Alpine latest. And now you can see the runner registration is successful. And we'll also see the status of the runner. As you can see, it is GitLab runner service is running. We can also verify by using GitLab runner list. So as soon as we enter the command, you can see we have the demo runner got created with the executor Docker. And this is the token of this specific runner, which will be unique for every GitLab runner that we create. And now to verify whether it has been successfully registered, we just refresh the screen. And you can see we have the demo runner with the tag AWS got created and also got registered to the specific project. And we can also make sure this is the green dot, which will show this runner is online and the last contact is just a minute ago. And if there is no green symbol, then there is some issue in trying we when we try to register, we might have missed some inputs or options. So it's always better to just go back and verify your command and then try to re-enter. So now we have the GitLab runner ready and we have a sample test project, and let's go ahead and see whether the GitLab runner that we have registered is actually working. So for that, just go to the project. I'm going to use the .gitlab.ci.yaml file because this is the default GitLab configuration YAML file that is responsible in triggering any builds with respect to the branch. Cover the significance of this .gitlab-ci.yaml in my coming sessions. So please do subscribe. I'm just going to take some predefined templates provided by GitLab itself. So it will be easy for us. As I'm going to use the .gitlab-ci.yaml, this is the default configuration YAML file that is responsible in triggering automated builds on the GitLab runner. In my coming sessions, I'll go through the significance and importance and how uh, we can get used to this GitLab CIML and how many ways we can try to write our pipeline for our projects so that we can seamlessly use the end-to-end and all the functionalities provided by gitlab.com. I'm using the .gitlab-a.yaml file, which is the default pipeline configuration for gitlab.com. And I'm going to use a simple configuration to test out whether the GitLab run is working fine or not. And you can see line number one, I'm just mentioning the image. So image can be anything, any Docker image that you want to use. So here let's provide Alpine latest, some before script, and let me commit the file, commit. And as soon as we commit, we have the pipelines that gets created. In order to check the pipeline, you just need to go to the project page, cicd, and in the pipelines section of the CI/CD, you can see there is a pipeline that gets created, and the pipeline got created with the latest commit that we push. And this pipeline got failed because you can see the YAML configuration or whatever we have written in the .gitlab-ai.ml is invalid, right? So that's why the error shows YAML invalid error. So now we are going to rectify this error. In order to make sure that our YAML configuration is intact, so it's better to always use the CI lint option provided by the gitlab.com. We just go back to our repository files, open it, copy our code, and this one we are in the lint, validate. And as it shows, the syntax is incorrect. CI configuration validated. Job config should contain at least one visible job. So it is telling us, it will show us what is the exact error and how to rectify it. And currently our error is this pipeline or this error shows that we should have at least one valid job or the visible job so that the pipeline can actually create one or execute one. For that, let's use stages, test, or you can simply use build. And now we're in the build stage. Build, script, go, sorry. So now we have a stage. Stage typically consists of one or more jobs. So this means we have one job called build job under this specific stage build. And I have a simple script that need to get executed. And now let's check whether the linting works fine. So now you can see the syntax is correct. And it also shows what, how many jobs we have and what does that job actually does. So now you can simply copy this entire code, edit our YAML file, and then simply replace it and then commit it. And again, as soon as you commit, we go into CI/CD pipelines, and you can see there will be a pipeline that gets triggered, which will be in the running state. And we go into this specific pipeline. Now you see we have a build stage and there is a job running inside it. And now this job gets created on the GitLab runner that we have previously installed, set up, and configured. But one point here to notice is it is not using our GitLab runner that we have created on the Ubuntu machine because we haven't mentioned any tags in the GitLab YAML file, right? So let's go back to our repository again, edit the YAML. Now we have the image, we have some before script, which is like pre-built kind of, and we have the stages and we have the jobs inside the stages. And we should also tell on which GitLab runner this job or stage need to get executed. So for that, we have a, and validate it again. And now you can see the build job will execute on the tag list with the tag name called AWS. Go back to YAML, just copy whatever we have it in the valid linting, paste it, comment it again. Go back to our pipelines. We see a new pipeline gets triggered. It's in pending state. The build is running. Job got succeeded. And now we can see it's running on the runner. And this is the token of this runner. And it is using the tag AWS. And whatever we have mentioned in the GitLab CA YAML that need to be using the Alpine latest image and echoing some comments. So that's what this build log shows here. You can see it is pulling the Docker image Alpine latest and running with GitLab runner on the demo runner. This is the one way of verifying that it is running on our GitLab runner that we have created, configured, and registered to this project. That's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching the video. If it is helpful, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you have any feedback, please mention it in the comments. And I will be providing more details of the GitLab links and whatever the documentations that I have shown in this video are going to be on the description of it. Thank you, guys.